So the movie I'm critiquing today is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. First and foremost, I think it is a good movie. I would recommend it. I feel as though it is a movie everybody should watch. It is a movie you have to be in the mood to watch. It's a 3 hour movie, and on top of that, beyond the positive messages and good themes it has, it does have a lot of despair and grief from the very beginning of the movie. It deals with death. If I were to rate it on a 5 star scale, probably give it like a 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars, just because of the amount of grief in it. Although in reality, that's what makes the movie what it is, and because it is a 3 hour movie, I feel there are some themes or some things they started that they could have expanded on, dove deeper into, that they just left up for thought or left for you to decide. It is a coming of age story. A movie I can relate it to is probably Forrest Gump, in that it follows the character from the time they're a child to the time they're an adult, except it has its own twist. So the movie starts in 2005 in New Orleans with Hurricane Katrina approaching, and the scene is set in a hospital. There's a lot of commotion going on for people getting ready for the hurricane to touch, and we see an elderly woman in the bed being comforted by her daughter, and this is her deathbed. Not to be a spoiler, it's kind of obvious to start the movie, and she just wants to make her mother comfortable, so her mother asks her to get a diary from her belongings and read it. And this is Benjamin's diary. This is the first time the elderly woman, the mother, will be hearing these things, and at a point in their life, they were in love, they dealt with each other. So the daughter begins to read, and the story starts in 1918 in New Orleans, where a child is born under unusual circumstances. So he's narrating his own story. He's born with all the features of an 80-year-old man. He has arthritis. He's nearly blind from cataracts. He has wrinkly skin. The movie does a good job of portraying this. And his father sees him as a monster. So his mother died giving birth to him, and his child doesn't look like a normal child. So what he does is he goes and places the baby, ironically, on the steps of a nursing home, and that's when Taraji P. Henson character finds the baby, and she cares for it as her own. And that's one of the things I meant when I said they could have expanded, because Taraji P. Henson is a black woman, and this is in the early 1900s down south in New Orleans. They didn't touch much on any of the segregation kind of things, which is fine. I mean, he just called her mama. It went along like it was normal. So yeah, the story just follows him throughout his life, and he's aging backwards. So at 7, he has all the features of an old man. He's in a wheelchair. He has like a bird's nest. It's here on the outside, gray hair, glasses. And yeah, basically he gets younger and younger until him and the elderly woman, their ages, they kind of meet in the middle at the perfect time for their love to like develop or whatever. And there's more to the story, but that's what I could say without giving it all away. The themes it touched on in psychology. Well, in my paper, I wrote like about very different things. It was dementia, and I talked about one of the traits in the 5 factor model. Then I talked about a form of attachment, and for me, it just showed that psychology can be applied to anything, to a lot of things in everyday life. There's always methods to our madness. There's psychology behind the reason people do things or act a certain way. I feel like the movie does a good job of portraying this. For society today as a whole, the message that the movie delivers itself, like he says it in the end, is you have to be the person you want to be, no matter the hand you're dealt, or however you feel the odds are against you. You have to do what's in your power to be who you want to be, who you wish to be, who you aspire to be. Everybody takes a different path, but in the end, we all end up in the same place. And that was the overall message.